special day, as we all know. Today is the appearance day of Shri Balaram. Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Baladev Balaram Bhagwan ki jai. Thank you so much for joining. I know it's unusual to be at our homes and not be at the temple on these special days of festivals, but what can we do? We have to do the best in this situation. So if we have the enthusiasm and the utsaha, we can celebrate the festival right at our homes. So we will celebrate Balaram Purnima today. I'm sure you had wonderful chanting and offering to Lord Balaram and deity worship, or now we will read something about Lord Balaram. I am hoping that everyone is very, very excited to read about Lord Balaram. Let's start with few prayers. Sarva Avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tanhara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balaram. The Dvitiya Deha of the Supreme Lord, the second body, is Lord Balaram, the first expansion. Namaste Halagraha, Namaste Mushala Yuddha, Namaste Revati Kanta, Namaste Bhaktavatsala, Namaste Balinam Shrishta, Namaste Dharani Dhara Pralambara, Namaste Tu Ehimam Krishna Purvajam, Namaste Halagraha, the holder of plough, Namaste Mushala Yuddha, the one who fights with Gada or club, Namaste Revati Kanta, the darling of Revati. Namaste Bhakta Vatsala, very, very dear to his devotees. Namaste Balinam Shrestha, the source of all strength, the most powerful, one who gives spiritual strength to us. He's the Adi Guru. Namaste Dharani Dhara, the one, as His Grace Prashant Mukund Prabhu was telling, the Anant Shesh holds such big planets, which are like crores of yojanas, just like Ananta Shesha is holding a mustard seed upon his head. And Pralamba Ara, one who killed Pralamba. And then Ehi Mam Krishna Purvaja. He is the Purvaja, means elder brother of Kṛṣṇa. So today we will read something very, very special. We will read Chaitanya Charitamrita, because it's Lord Balaram's birthday, and we will read Adi Lila chapter 5, the glories of Lord Nityananda Ram, that is Balaram, Lord Nityananda Balaram. I'm sure everyone is very, very excited to read. So if you're really excited, you can also turn on your videos. Okay, so the verses are quite short and sweet. So we will read the English or the Bengali in English language. For those who know Bengali, can read the Bengali in Bengali language, and then we will read the translation. And I'm not sure if we'll be able to complete the chapter, but we'll try to. As Lord Balaram is Ananta, there is no end. Similarly, his glories are also Ananta. But we are limited. We cannot sing his glories, and there's no end to his glories. But for our purification, and for the pleasure of Lord Balaram, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, we will read this chapter. So I'm sure everyone is excited. Since I would like everyone to read, and there are small verses. So we will not have a lot of discussion, because it's like nectar. You have to relish the nectar. So there is not much to, of course, we can discuss on and on, but let's read 3 verses each, and the next person can read. Okay, let's start with text 1. Vande Ananta Adbhutaishwaryam Shri Nityanandamishwaram Yasye Chhaya Tats Swarupam Ajena Agyainapi Nirupyate. Let me offer my obeisance to Lord Shri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. Such a sweet word. By the will of Lord Nityananda or Balaram. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Very, very famous verse. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Charya. All glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. E Sachloke Kahila Krishna Chaitanya Mahima. Panchashloke Kahi Nityananda Tattva Sima. I have described the glory of Sri Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now in 5 verses, I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is speaking this. So let's hear the glories of Lord Nityananda. Who would like to read the next 3 verses? There should be a lot of excitement. Utsav means Utsav. So please raise your hands so I can flow very smoothly and I can, ask. Those whose hands will be raised, I can quickly ask and the flow can, rather than me asking every time who wants to read. Yes, Ekant Prabhu. And everyone can keep their hands raised and once you have read, you can put your hand down.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Sarva avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tanahara Dvitya Deha Sri Balarama. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body.
Yes, we will read the translations only because,
okay.
Yeah. Yes,
next. Ekai Swarupa Dhoni Bina Matra Kaya Adya Kaya Vyuha Krishna Lilara Sahaya. Translation: These two are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes.
Such a wonderful verse. Eka Swarupa. There's only same identity. Bhinna Matra Kaya. Only the color is different. Why is it come? To Lila Sahai. To help in Lord Krishna's pastimes. Yes, Prabhu.
Sri Krishna Madhva Navadvipe Sri Chaitanya Chandra Sri Balarama Sange Sri Nityananda. Translation: That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvipa as Lord Chaitanya and Balarama appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Nandani Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Dandavat Pranam devotees. Sankarshana Karana Toyashai Garbhodai Chapaya Abdi Shai Sheshascha Yasyamsa Kalasa Nitya Nandakya Ramaha Sharanam Mamastu. Translation: Sri Nityananda Ram, be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Sheshanag, and the Vishnus, who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk, are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. Text 8. Sri Balarama Gosai Mula Sankarshana Pancharupa Dhari Karena Krishnera Sevana. Lord Balram is the original Sankarshana. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. Apane Karena Krishna Lila Rasahaya Srishti Lila Karaya Karedhari Charikaya. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms.
Thank you. Yes, Vipul Prabhu.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Text 10. Sistadik Sheba tar Aggaro Palan Shesh Rupe Kore Krishner Bibido Shevan. Translation: He executes the order of Lord Krishna in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Shesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. Text 11. Sarvarupe Ashadoye Krishna Shevananda Shri Balaram Gaura Sange Nityananda. Translation: In all the forms he tests the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. That same Balaram is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaurachandra. Text 12.
Yes, the bliss of serving Krishna. We can pray to Lord Balaram, so we can also experience that bliss of serving Krishna, how he is experiencing bliss and he wants to serve in every way, all the rasas. He's not leaving anything. He wants to serve Krishna in every aspect. So it's a wonderful prayer and meditation to Lord Balaram that we can also experience the bliss, because real bliss lies in serving. Yes, Prabhu.
টেক্সট 12 সপ্তম শ্লোকের অর্থ করি 4 শ্লোকে যাতে নিত্যানন্দ তত্ত্ব জানে সর্বলোকে I have explained the 7th verse in 4 subsequent verses. By these verses, all the world can know the truth about Lord Nityananda.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I will read, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. Mayatite vyapi vaikunta-loke purneshwaryaye Shri Chaturvyuha madhye Rupam yeshodhati sankarsanakyam Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye. Translation: I surrender unto the lotus feet of Shri Nityananda Rama, who is known as Sankarsana, in the midst of the Chaturvyuha, consisting of Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. He possesses full opulences and resides in Vaikuntha Loka, far beyond the material creation. Prakritirapara Paravyoma Name Dhama Krishna Vigraha Yaiche Vibhuti Adi Gunavan. Beyond the material nature lies the realm known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. Like Lord Krishna himself, it possesses all transcendental attributes such as the 6 opulences.
Yes.
Sarvaga Ananta Vibhu Vaikuntadi Dhama Krishna Krishna Avatarera Tahani Vishrama. That Vaikuntha region is all pervading, infinite, and supreme. It is the residence of Lord Krishna and his incarnations. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes, Prabir Prabhu, you want to read? You can unmute, Prabhu, please.
তাহার পরিভাগে কৃষ্ণলোক খ্যাতি দ্বারকা মথুরা গোকুল ত্রিবিদত্তে স্থিতি. In the highest region of that spiritual sky is the spiritual planet called Krishna Loka. It has 3 divisions: Dwaraka, Mathura, and Gokul. Text 17. Sarvopari Sri Gokula Brajaloka Dham Shri Golok Shatoddipa Vrindavana Nam. Shri Gokul, the highest of all, is also called Braja, Goloka, Shatoddipa, and Vrindavan. Text 18. Sarvag Ananta Vibhu Krishna Tonu Sama Uparjadya Bepiyache Nahika Niyama. Like the transcendental body of Lord Krishna, Gokula is all pervading, infinite, and supreme. It expands both above and below without any restriction. Should I read, Prabhu? I read 3.
Oh, you read 3? Okay.
Yes.
Next, Vaswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam. Text 19. Brahmande Prakashtar Krishner Ichchai Eki Swaruptar Nahi Duikai. Translation: that abode is manifested within the material world by the will of Lord Krishna. It is identical to that original Gokula. They are not 2 different bodies. Text 20. Chintamoni Bhumi কল্পবৃক্ষময় বন চর্মচক্ষে দেখে তারে প্রপঞ্চেরও সম Translation: The land there is touchstone, Chintamani, and the forests abound with desired trees. Material eyes see it as an ordinary place.
Wonderful. I was thinking that the tattva has been covered in most of the verses. How about we read the story of Pralambasur also? So we can tattva and Lila both can balance nicely. Is that okay?
Sure, Prabhu, and we have longer to stay.
Okay. So let's read the story of Pralambasur. Okay. Pralambasur was Balramji killed multiple demons. One of them was Pralambasur. So let's read this story about Pralambasur, and everyone can read 1 or 2 paragraphs. So those who have not read first, they can read. So let's start with this wonderful story of Pralambasur, a demon who was killed by Sri Balaram. So what that means, we recently discussed about Keshi, as Madhavan Prabhu explained. So who has not read so far? Kirti Mataji, want to read? Umesh Prabhu? Yeah, if you have not read and you would like to read, first raise your hands.
Yes,
Otherwise,
Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, please.
One day, while they were herding the cows, the most dangerous, deadly of all demons, Pralamba, came into Krishna's association. He, like Vasasura, thinks in the most deceiving, demonic way. He was very, very careful, looking for an opportunity to kill Krishna and Balaram. What a mentality. He took note that one particular cowherd boy who would come out with Krishna every day was kept at home by his mother that day because he had some duties to perform. Parnamashura discussed himself identical to that innocent little Gopa friend of Krishna, and he was just doing all the activities, herding the cows, playing and jumping and throwing balls, jumping like frogs and everything like that, and singing and playing flute and buffalo horn. But Krishna knew within his heart that this was a demon that has come to kill us. But Krishna pretended that he did not know, and he accepted him as a friend and said, "Oh, I am so happy that you have come today," and embraced him. And then Krishna was thinking how to kill the demons, and then he had his plan. Back to you, Prabhu.
So sweet. Look at this deceiving mentality. He was observing very, very carefully, and then he disguised as that little Gopa boy and thought that Krishna will not recognize. But who can cheat Krishna? So such each and every paragraph, each and everything has Maharaj will certainly speak the lessons, and then we can churn and share our reflections as well. But let's read and keep the flow going. Let's see who wants to read. And if you have read once, yes, who wants to read next? Who's not yet read?
I can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, Kirti Mataji, please.
Thank you. He called out to his friend that today we are going to play a game where we are going to divide in 2 different teams, and all of the Gopa can choose who would be the captains of the team, and the winner would be carried on their shoulder by the loser. Who do you think the Gopas choose to be the two captains of the team? Shri Krishna, Balaram ki jai. So they were playing, one team would hide from the another, and if anybody from the team found one of the boys, then the boy who was found to carry the finder on his shoulder and dance around with him for some time and bring him to these different places. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai.
Jai.
So one side is Krishna's team, one side is Balaram's team, and they are picking up different people now. You know, we all have played like this, so everything is coming from Krishna and Balaram. So now they are picking team now. Krishna and Balaram on the opposite side. Let's see what happens next. Yes, Vijay Mataji, please.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read.
Start from here.
So they played nice games.
Start from here, Mataji, please.
Oh. Basura put Balramji on his shoulder under the Paddivat tree because he lost the game and started running. So they played nice games and Balram's team was victorious. Pralamsura took side with Krishna. So he lost and Krishna had to carry Sridama on his shoulder. And Bhadrasena carried Velashi on his shoulder. And the Pralamsura chose to carry Balramji on his shoulder. Now what I explained is when they were playing this game, Krishna brought them all here to Bhadrivan. He actually brought them all to the Bhadrivan tree because this was a good place for them to get on each other's shoulders. So it was Bandivat, this tree that we are sitting under today, and Krishna brought them that Pralamsura put Balramji on his shoulder and he started to run and run and run. And Balramji was thinking where my friends is taking me so far away. He has already crossed the border of where we are supposed to go. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So this whole pastime happened. Vrindavan has many, many forests. Vrindavana. Vana means forest. So this happened in the Bhandir Vana forest. Under Bhandir what trees. That's how this gets this name. So Krishna team lost. So Krishna had to carry whom? Sridama. And Pralamba was on Krishna's side. So Pralambasur had to carry Balram. And there's one more reference here. Vilasi, the Bhadrasena, who was also on Krishna's side, had to carry Vilasi. These are all Krishna's cowherd friends. So in short, everyone is carrying the opponent team's members on their shoulders and they're supposed to go to a destination. But Pralamba took, a totally detour and went somewhere else. So let's see what happened and where did he go? Because his intention was to destroy Balram. Yes, who has not read? Amsilas Prabhu?
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Pralambasura assumed his original form as Balramji became very heavy to carry. So Balramji became very heavy like Mount Sumeru. And Pralambasura, he was becoming so strange trying to keep Balarama on his shoulders, and he was trying to run more and more and more. And he assumed his original form of gigantic size. His hair was like flames of fire. His eyes were red like coals, and he had large sharp teeth that were practically touching his very demoniac curved eyebrows. He had a long red beard. He looked like a massive cloud. He had golden ornaments and golden crown, gigantic tridents. Hare Krishna. It says that he looked like a gigantic cloud. His ornaments were like lightning, and Balram on his shoulder was like the full moon. Good.
So the description of Pralambasur, the gigantic demon and the ferocious demon, is mentioned. And Balramji is Ananta Shesha. He's the Sankarshan. He's the Mahavishnu. Who can... and when he started to increase his weight, because he has all the siddhis. So when he assumed the original form, Balramji started to increase the weight. And it looked like Acharyas give such nice comment. Like lightning on his shoulders. Ornaments were like lightning on his shoulder, and Balram on his shoulders was like the moon. Such beautiful comparison. So let's see what happens next when Balramji started to increase his weight like Mount Sumeru, heavier than the heaviest. Yes, who has not read? Lakshmi Mataji?
As Prabhuji, I can read. Balramji kills Pralambasura. So Balram was thinking that how is it that my friend has changed in every way? Balram got angry with him, not because he was a big, huge demon, but because Balramji wanted to play with his friends. They were right in the middle of the game when this rascal was taking him away from his friends. It was intolerable. He became furious. You are taking me, you are separating me from the playful games of Krishna and the Gopas. One punch Balram with his fist on his head, and Pralambasura, this gigantic mountainous demon, head just split open. He fell to the ground dead. Sri Baladev ki jai, and all of the Gopas cried out, well done, well done. And then they all were so happy. They embraced Balram as if he had come back from death. And the demigods benedicted Balramji by showering flowers after flowers, and the Gopas were giving benediction to Balramji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Such sweet pastimes. Gopal are saying, well done, Balram, well done. Same as when Keshi was killed, well done, and then the demigods are showering flowers. So let's see what, as Keshi was representing the desire to be desire to feel I'm better devotee than others, the desire to be superior to others. Let's see what Pralambasur represents and how we can destroy the demon of Pralambasur in our heart. Anyone who has not read so far and would like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes. And for those who have read, you can lower your hand so it's clear to me. Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Shri Balaram Dao ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. Pralambasura represents the inclination to enjoy opposite sex, profit, adoration, and distinction which promise us happiness. But they kill the inclination for Krishna in our heart. Pralambasura represents a very dangerous demon that resides within the heart, the inclination to enjoy the opposite sex and the inclination to enjoy profit, adoration, and distinction. This means the inclination for gross and subtle sex. This world, people think this is the goal of life. Most of the songs, most of the television, most of the movies, most of the books, most of the magazines, most of the product you buy in the market are centered on this enjoyment. Such a powerful force, Pralambasura, is very difficult to overcome, and it appears like our friend. Like Pralambasura appeared as Krishna's dear intimate, lifelong friend. So similarly, these desires appear, the desire for profit, adoration, and distinction, and the desire for other types of physical activities. They promise us happiness, but they cheat us. They kill the inclination for Krishna consciousness within our heart. So we must be very careful. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. This paragraph is the essence for all the sadhakas, and it's like worth reading 100 times. These desires, gross sex, subtle sex, lust, profit, fame, adoration, position, anything. These make us feel that they're my friend. Maharaj is so nicely mentioning, it seems they cheat us. They promise us happiness, but actually they are taking us away from Krishna. They are taking us away from the bhakti within our heart. So, pralamba, very, very lamba. Prakrisha Lupin lamba. It's very, very deep rooted, very, very deep, very, very powerful demon. And everyone in the world is television, movies, Maharaj is giving the example, is just promising that. Oh, you get this, you'll be happy. Oh, you get this position, you'll be happy. But actually, they are just deceiving us, cheating us. So we must be very, very careful.
It's not 7.
So I think, yeah, let's continue. So let's read the next paragraph, and after the end of the story, we'll discuss some reflections. Anyone who has not read, or your husbands or wives are present, so if you have logged from one system and they would like to read, so I don't know if your cameras are off, so please.
I can read, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Yes, please.
So from the example, Prabhuji.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Example of some Hollywood directors who are compiled to put inappropriate contents in some spiritual movies, even though they are not historically correct, just to please the audience. Actually, sometimes I go to California to do some services for Srila Prabhupada's mission, and I met people from Hollywood and some producers, some directors, and other people like that. And they are sometimes telling me about movies they are making, spiritual movies, but they say in order for people to come and see it, we have to put some kind of sexual scene in it, even if it's not historically correct. I remember when I was a little boy, my parents took me to see the 10 Commandments, and Moses, who was supposed to be a great Acharya, he was having an affair. This is not in the Bible. What is this? But they have to, otherwise people won't think it is bona fide movies. Just like a Purana has to have certain ingredients of bona fide Hollywood, has to have certain ingredients to be bona fide. And this is the very main ingredient, because people have such inclination, the promise of happiness, the promise of pleasure. But Prahlad Maharaj says it's actually the cause of all pain. This attachment, it steals away our inclination for Krishna consciousness. So that is Pralambasura. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. And this lecture certainly is a few years back, and now we see in India also so many movies are being made, so many comedy shows on the name of they'll put some spiritual name, as Maharaj is mentioning here, but they put such inappropriate scenes. The Pralambasur mentality, promising happiness, promising pleasure, but actually it just takes away from God, takes away from bhakti, takes away from, and actually it is the cause of all pain. So this Pralambasur demon is very, very deep rooted. This attachment steals away our inclination. The attachment to get puja, la, pratishtha, more fame, more recognition. Oh, I'm a senior devotee. Oh, I'm a better person. Oh, I'm a good this. I'm a good that. People should respect me. This takes us away. We feel that it will give me happiness, but it just takes us away. Let's see what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says further. Anyone else who has not yet read? Okay. Okay, now who would like to read second time? Let's see, who all are very, very eager. You can raise your hands.
I can read one.
Yes, Nandini Mataji, please.
And that's Happy Balaram Purnima. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that a devotee should endeavor with all sincerity to overcome the anarthas under the guidance of a spiritual master. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains there are two demons in Vrindavan that Balram killed, Dhenukasura and Pralambasura. Dhenukasura, he represents ignorance of knowledge of the soul through materialistic intelligence. And Pralambasura represents the inclination to enjoy the opposite sex and profit, adoration and distinction, both gross and subtle. And Thakur Bhaktivinoda explains that these two anarthas have to be overcome by the endeavor of the devotees under the guidance and instruction of the spiritual master. The devotee must endeavor with all sincerity. It is not just grace. Grace in the sense that grace of Balram would come. The grace of Balram through Guru Tattva will come to exterminate these demons forever, providing we really struggle and endeavor to give up the propensity for profit, adoration, distinction, and gross sense gratification. Thus, endeavor praying to Guru and Krishna and chanting the holy names, we can become blessed by the causeless mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Nityam. This is the solution. Solution to kill the Pralambasura in our heart. We cannot kill. Only Balramji can kill. Only the Adi Guru, only the Guru Tattva can kill. Now people must say, oh, when Guru's mercy will be there upon me, then Pralambasura will be killed. Yes, Guru's mercy will be there. But are we really struggling to endeavor and follow Guru's instructions? So the devotee under the guidance and instruction of the spiritual master, the devotee must endeavor with sincerity. Not just saying, Gurudev, please bless me. Gurudev, please shower your mercy upon me. How much we are sincerely struggling. And then we discuss Guru Tattva means pleasing Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada, the senior Vaishnavas. If we don't please them, if we don't serve them, then this desire to get profit, fame, adoration, distinction, which is subtle sex, and then the gross sex, of course, sense gratification, will never be able to overcome. We'll never be able to overcome the deep-rooted propensity to get more recognition, more fame. So on this day, we should pray to Shri Balaram. We should pray to our spiritual masters, our Diksha Gurus, Shiksha Gurus, Path Pradarshak Gurus, so that Lord Balaram, and not just saying, oh, please shower your grace, that I will endeavor, please give me the strength. You are the Adi Guru, you are Bala. Balinam Shrestha. You are the source of all Bala. Please give me the Bala, the spiritual strength, so that I can be a sincere disciple and not aspire for this profit, name, fame, recognition, adoration, distinction. This will just take me away from Krishna. I do not want to get anything which will take me away from Krishna. I just want to be a sincere servant. I just want to be a servant of my spiritual master. That is the prayer we should all aspire. That is the way we can kill the Pralambasur in our heart. Let's see what next paragraph says. Pravir Prabhu. Silas Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much. When we water the seeds of devotion, many weeds grow with it, and gradually it chokes the devotional creeper unless we discriminate and stop watering it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that when you water the seed of devotion, many weeds grow with it. And just like Pralambasura assumed like a trusting, loving friend, similarly, these weeds of profit, adoration, distinction, and gross enjoyment appear to be something very wonderful that may even give us happiness and help us in our spiritual life. And we don't discriminate and we water the weeds. We water the weed until the weed chokes and cripples the devotional creeper. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So deep. These are all so deep verses, deep meaning. Does anyone, for those who do even little gardening, the weeds, no one puts the seed of the weed to come. They come by on their own. And at times, they just look like the seed. It's hard to even recognize unless one is very, very careful to identify those weeds and uproot those weeds continuously. Otherwise, what will happen if we are negligent, if we are not careful, if we are not sincere, we will be watering. Shravanadi Jal, Shravanam Kirtanam process will continue, but the Bhakti Lata Bij will not grow. Why? Because the weeds are taking all the energy. The Shravanam Kirtana and the chanting, hearing, reading process is watering the weed of Puja, La, Pratishtha, lust, anger, greed, envy. That will increase because we are not careful to uproot the weeds. So as a gardener, we should be very, very careful. Otherwise, the weeds will choke and cripple the devotional creeper, which we don't want. So we should be very, very sincere. Let's read a little more. Or I think the story is pretty much, there is some more story. Yeah. Let's read till yeah, let's read till this point a little more and then we'll take some reflections. Who has not read? Ekant Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Prabhu. We must avoid contaminating our hearts by following the regulative principles and simultaneously clean our heart by chanting the holy names. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 37. Kama esha krodha esha rajo guna samudbhavaha mahasano mahapapma vidye enam ihavairinam. Krishna tells in Gita, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is the all-devouring sinful enemy, which is later transformed into wrath when it is unfulfilled, which the sinful enemy of the contained soul is. We must give it up. Therefore, we must, under the Guru's instructions, follow proper regulative principles, and simultaneously, as we are avoiding further contaminating our hearts, we can clean our heart and access grace by our humility and our chanting of the holy name. If we are humble, Balarama in the heart and the spiritual master will remove these demons. Thank you very much.
So nice. Thank you, Prabhu, for reading. And thank you all the devotees for reading. The story is very, very deep, has so many deep lessons. If we humbly strive, then Lord Balram will be able to kill the bad desires, bad pralambasura in our heart, aspiring for fame, recognition, give me respect, puja, love, pratishtha, position, recognition, etc., etc. It is just subtle sex. Where will it take us? It will take us away from Krishna. We don't want to do that. We want to be a humble servant. If we serve with humility, then we will be close to Krishna. If we carefully uproot the weeds, then we will be close to Krishna. Otherwise, the weeds will grow and the seed will choke up. So, Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Balabhadra Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Haladhara Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Rohi Nandan Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Revati Kanta Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Bhakta Vatsala Balaram Dao ki jai. Thank you so much for your wonderful enthusiasm reading this wonderful story. Reading is very easy, application is difficult. So please, let's pray to Shri Balaram Ji so we can be a sincere servant of our spiritual masters. We cannot just read this story, but intensely pray. And so that Lord Balram, who is Balinam Shrestha, full of all strength, he can give us the strength to be a sincere servant without expecting any name, fame, recognition. With humility, with sincerity, we strive to be the servant, nimitta matra. We strive to be a puppet in the hands of our Guru. As Prabhupada said, make me a dancing puppet. Make me a puppet in your hands and make me dance as the way you want me to dance. So with that consciousness, if we strive for in our spiritual life, then we will uproot the weeds and the Bhakti Lata seed will grow. But if the consciousness is not pure, if humility is missing, then we will be very far from Krishna. Any comments, thoughts, reflections? Thank you.
It's nice how he says that Pralamba appears as a friend first. He appears as a friend first. So we start trusting him. And we start misjudging that whatever we are feeling is bhakti, although it may be just like a convoluted desire. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So true. It appears as if it will help us. It appears it will give us good thing, but it actually takes a very important point. Vipul Prabhu, Sujaya Mataji, sorry if I missed someone to read. You want to speak something now? Share any reflections?
It's okay, Puji. It's okay. We really enjoyed the whole conversation. Thank you.
Krishna Katha is so relishing. Everything is so relishing. Anyone wants to share any reflections? Anything really struck you? Anything? Any special prayer today? Please feel free to share any reflections from.
I have a question, but I'll ask at the end.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Any reflections so far?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I like the part, Prabhuji, where Bhaktivinoda Tagore says about the two demons, that Denikashura is the ignorance of knowledge of the soul, and Pralambasura is the adoration and distinction. And also the point where it mentioned that Balram is ready to destroy the demons, but we have to really struggle and get his grace. So that points really strike me, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing those. Very, very important point. Very, very deep. Thank you. Yes, Kirti Mataji, want to share something?
Prabhu, I just had a question. Krishna had killed so many demons, but why this Pralambasura was killed by Lord Balaram? Any particular quality?
Actually, there is a reason. It's not coming on the top of my head. My wife shared with me. She was reading a book. She shared with me. Let me call her. And if anyone knows the reason, Amsilas Prabhu and Nandini Mataji, you know the reason. Amsilas Prabhu has done PhD on this topic actually.
No, Prabhuji, I just heard today about why Balram represents Adi Guru, and if we look at how each demon represents a certain anartha in our heart, the bad material intelligence and the subtle desire that we need to get out of our heart by the Guru. So only with the help of Guru we can get Kṛṣṇa. So that is what this pastime is showing, that through Guru we can reach Kṛṣṇa, and Guru, when we let Guru into our heart by our struggle, endeavor, and surrendering, he will come, and with his plow, he will make our heart so fertile for Bhakti Lata beach to grow and have pure Bhakti for Kṛṣṇa. And Kṛṣṇa comes and kills all the other demons because, like Putana represents the pseudo guru, and all that is destroyed when we bring Kṛṣṇa to the heart. But first we need to make good choices and surrender to a guru, so that he can remove these two big anarthas to let Kṛṣṇa come in. Thank you, Prabhuji.
And like we just heard in the class on Sunday, first Devaki had 6 sons, and they represent Shadaripus. They represent envy, lust, all these qualities that are just mentioned. Pralambasura and Dhenukasura represent, and they need to be gone away. And then the Guru plows our heart for Bhakti Lata Beach to start growing. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nandri Mataji and Amsulas Prabhu for sharing that only Guru can destroy these anarthas if we act as a humble servant. Thank you. Hope that answers your question, Kirti Mataji. Sudhir Prabhu, you had a question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, I think you very well summarized. I think kind of my answer is also there. But Prabhuji, even while doing service also, for the sake of Krishna, I think, we think that for the sake of Krishna, we are doing and we get agitated. So, how can we, differentiate between getting angry for Krishna or, getting angry for the material?
Getting angry for Krishna and
for the sake of Krishna. I mean, in the service of Krishna. How can we differentiate that?
If we deeply look in our hearts, then the answer will come. And sometimes the answer, if does not come, it's always good to check with senior Vaishnavas, our Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, etc. Because I'm not pure to identify that. The Guru will be able. Sometimes is it a seed or is it a weed? Is it like the weed which is appearing to be a seed, or is it the seed which is So that sometimes it may be easy to identify, but sometimes we need an expert. An expert can tell. A new gardener will not be able to tell. Oh, it's the same seed. It looks quite similar. But an expert person will be able to tell, who is a mature gardener, that this is not seed. Baba, you are watering the weed. Don't water the weed. Take them out and water the real seed. So we need help. We need guidance. We need submissive shelter. Today my wife was reading Prabhupada's one of the books. So Prabhupada explained what is the definition of service. And there were 2 devotees and there was 1 bicycle. And they wanted to go for book distribution. And they both were kind of fighting. Well, I'll take the bicycle, or I'll take the bicycle. So then Prabhupada replied. And I want to read the reply as it is. My wife has got that book. Srila Prabhupada said, service means that you must take orders from the master. That is service. Otherwise, it is mental concoction. The servant requests, how can I serve you? So when the master orders, you serve me like this, and you do it, that is service. And if we manufacture our own service, that is not service, that is sense gratification. So basically that is pralambasur. If we do not take instructions from the senior Vaishnavas, our Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, and we manufacture our own, this is Prabhupada's words as it is, then it is actually weed. It is sense gratification Prabhupada is mentioning, and sense gratification is pralambasur. As we read, puja, la, pratishtha, gross sense gratification, and subtle sense gratification, which represents profit, fame, adoration. Does that answer, Prabhu, to some extent?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Yeah, a true Guru, can identify. I think, this is a, perfect example of how we need to take shelter of Guru and Balramji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Lord Balram, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Any other additions, questions,
Yes,
comments?
Prabhu, just really quick.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. So, Prabhu, J. Shetty, Ghanasham Priya Prabhu, he often says, whenever you speak, Prabhu, or whenever, even if you get angry at somebody, was it for did you speak the truth when you got angry? Because a lot of times the anger is dangerous, because then you start not making the right sentences, maybe out of context or out of that. Was it for the betterment of the other person? And could you have done without speaking that? And we see this in example of Prabhupada. Even when Prabhupada got really angry, that's the most cherishable memory for his disciple, because it was for the betterment of service of the other person. And it was really coming from Prabhupada's heart. And that anger, even Prabhupada came to Prabhupada after he had done so much for his disciple. He said he used to boil 3 gallons of blood for each and every one of his disciples. So has it come after so much giving? And then does the other person remember that with joy and pride that you got angry, or does the other person remember it when vengeance? That could be a test. But thank you, Prabhu, for such a sincere question. Back to you. I hope my addition makes sense.
Thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. Anyone else? One last comment before we stop today. Okay. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for joining continuously every day on this special occasion of Balaram Purnima. So we must pray for ourselves, our dear ones, and each and every one, that may we become sincere servants of the spiritual master and seek strength from Lord Balaram, who is the source of all strength, in a very humble way, not seeking desire for profit, fame, recognition, which just will take us away from Kṛṣṇa, being very, very careful to not water the weeds and continuously. It's not that we take out the weeds and then they will not grow. They will again grow in 2 weeks. You have to continuously be on guard. So that's praying for the strength from Lord Balaram. We will chant the glories of Lord Balaram. Shri Shri Balaram Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Shri Baladev Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Shri Balaram Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Shri Balaram Purnima Mahamotsav ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. So much. Happy Balaram Purnima. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Thank you. Hari Bol.